This is super interesting, and this is like I think spirit of the law versus letter of the law type of thing. We're not necessarily talking about laws here specifically, but it is well, it has to be airtight or else nobody will believe it. And we're talking specifically about elections, and I guess more specifically, now this is the third time I've said specifically in the last 15 seconds, but that's okay. The proposition ballots going out in the state of California right now. Libs of TikTok put up a photo of some of the ballots, and, well, this is incredibly interesting to say the least. There are holes in the envelope that shield the votes from being seen by everyone else. You put your ballot in the envelope, and then the envelope is opened blindly and counted in public view of anybody. Now, the problem is the way California does voting, there's lots of people that can potentially handle that ballot before it actually gets to the counting station. And the worst thing that could happen is if the people handling that ballot were to, I don't know, peek and see which way people voted and, I don't know, throw some of those ballots away. It's just, again, you would hate for that to happen. Of course, it never would. That's just a figment of those crazy conservatives' imagination. Except for when stuff like this happens. There's a hole in the envelope in which you can clearly see how somebody voted on the proposition coming up in November in the state of California. Now, producer Glenn did some research. Why the heck are these holes there? Well, what he came up with is so that people who are visually impaired are able to know where to sign. If you're going to sign the envelope on your ballot, you gotta sign in the right place, and those holes help folks to know where to sign the ballot. The problem is, what are the chances that that hole lines up almost exactly with where you can see where the ballot is, or what the person voted? What are the chances of that? Now, here's the thing. I will be as conciliatory as possible in this particular instance and say, I don't even know if that was intentional. Let's just say it wasn't. There still is a problem, because if you can cheat, you may as well have cheated, right? Especially in elections. Elections need to be so airtight that even a sniff of somebody being able to falsify anything in the election can't be around. You can't have that at all in any way, shape, or form, or else the election can be accused of being fraudulent. And if it's accused of being fraudulent, then that affects whether or not people believe in the election. And if people don't believe in the election is a moot point anyway. If people don't believe that the election is fair and secure, you've lost the country effectively. At the end of the day, I don't want to say it doesn't matter. It does matter who wins elections, but what matters more is that the people believe the election. And if you have things like this, that especially in California, where you can drop ballots off to, really anywhere and anybody can turn them in, people go and pick up ballots from your front door. It's a crazy situation they have in California. If you have a state that allows that sort of thing, and there's a possibility for those people to see how the individual voted, it's just as bad as if somebody did it on purpose. Does that make sense? Martin Luther King, interestingly and ironically, said you must be above reproach, which is what elections have to be. Now, he wasn't, so there's that. But elections have to be above the threshold of, I hope that's good. No, it has to be airtight. And unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case in California.